Good morning. Good morning, traders. How are you all doing today? Karibuni sana. Glad to see a lot of familiar names joining us this fine Thursday morning. Hope everyone is doing well. So I guess we can be able to start now. So hello everyone. How are you doing today? My name is Mitch Paniero and I'm a trader with Afriforex. I want to welcome you to another Afriforex daily analysis session. Now, do you know during these webinars, we as a Afriforex team analyze the markets and identify what trading opportunities we will be looking at taking for the day. And we do share that information with you. So as usual, we do have John. He's here in the back office. So he'll be here to assist you on whatever questions or queries you might have. So feel free to ask those questions either in the Q&A section or in the chat box, and you will get a response. But remember, if you'd like me to address any questions, kindly ask those questions on the Q&A section. So let's jump straight into it. We do need to deal with a lot today. So obviously, we'll always start off with our watch list. So yesterday and today, you can see the dates here. Yesterday, we were looking for buying opportunities on the Swiss franc, the British pound, the euro, as well as the US dollar. And we're looking to mix and match those pairs with the pairs on the sell side. That's the Australian dollar, the New Zealand dollar, the Japanese yen, as well as the Canadian dollar. Now, there has been a mass exodus of pairs from the buy side. Can see we'll still be looking for buying opportunities on the euro. However, the yen has also moved to the buy side, and most other pairs have moved to the sell side. So you can see the Australian dollar, the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, the USD, and the British pound. So this will be our watch list for today. So before we do jump on today's pairs, let's have a look at the pairs that we did have yesterday. What worked, what did not work. At least we need to realize and identify and review our trades, or at least to see the analysis in how it performed. So we'll do that before we end up looking at a few screenshots. Then we'll jump on to today's pairs. So we'll start off here with the Australian dollar against Swiss franc. Yesterday, our bias here was to look for selling opportunities. You can see the three areas that John had pointed out. Now, during the London session, the price was within this particular bias area. Wanted either a breach to the downside or a pullback to come in. Now, the pullback did come in. Can clearly see it managed to get quite close towards this main seller right there at the top, but it did end up struggling. It was around 4:30 during the US market open, or at least, sorry, the New York Stock Exchange open, that can see the market did start to come to the downside. Can see as the price did end up holding below. We are attempting to come down today. However, since both these pairs fundamentals have changed, this could end up giving us issues, potentially even ranging, and that's the reason why there's a pair that's going to be off our watch list for today. So the next pair for review we did have was the New Zealand dollar against Swiss franc. Similar situation, our bias here was to look for selling opportunities, and you can see the three areas that were meant to look for those sells. The price did not necessarily react within this first area. You can see the illustrations that John had pointed out, hoping to see whether or not we're going to get some sort of reaction within this area. But if not, there was also the possibility that the price could get all the way to the main seller's area at the top. You can see that's exactly what happened. We did end up getting a probe right there. The price was holding below, and you can see at 3 o'clock during the US market open, we did end up getting the price being able to come down lower. Similar situation even today during the Asian session. We did get a breach and a hold below where it has attempted to come down. But unfortunately for us today, this is a pair that could give us issues, and it is not going to be on our watch list for today. Now, the next pair for review we did have was the Canadian dollar against Swiss franc. Similar situation, our bias here was to look for selling opportunities. Can see initially when we're discussing this market, the price was within this buyer's area early in the morning. But remember, we always point out, if we want to buy, yes, we'd rather buy within a buyer's area. But if we want to sell, we need to look for sales as far away from these buyers as possible, or at least as close towards the seller's area as possible. And you can see the market did end up reacting within this area. We did end up getting the price attempting to come back within this first support and resistance area. And you can see that was around 3 o'clock, where you can see the market did manage to actually come down quite aggressive. We did not get the price actually holding below. Today, it is attempting to do that, but this is a pair that could end up potentially giving us issues today. As you can see, it is quite choppy, potentially going to end up entering some sort of range. And that's the reason why there's a pair that's not going to be on our watch list for today. So the next pair we did have, and is for review, was the British pound against the Australian dollar. Yesterday, our bias was to look for buying opportunities. You can see the three areas that John had pointed out. But you can see during the London market open, so remember now the market opens at 11 a.m. You can see the price managed to actually start coming down lower. Wanted to see what kind of reaction we did get within this area. No reaction at that time. And we then see the price managed to continue coming to the downside. As soon as it came down lower and it looked as if it was holding below, this pair did fall off our watches. And you can see 3 o'clock during the US market open, We did end up attempting to try and come up, and you can see we did end up managing to get all the way within this area. They attempted to hold to the upside, but once the price broke to the downside there, this pair fully did fall off our watches. And remember, we always point out follow correlation. Look at the other currency pairs. It would end up giving you some idea of what you should be doing. Because when we look at the next British pound pair, can see it was a similar situation. Even here, we had the British pound against the New Zealand dollar. Price managed to start coming down quite aggressively during the London session. The price breached and held below within this area. So at that point in time, it did fall off our watch list. Even though at 3 o'clock, we can see the buyers attempted to try and come up higher. We did just get towards the support and resistance area. But if you realize when the price came to the upside, remember, we will always say, want the price to breach and hold above. You can see the fact that the price just went up and came straight down. That signified that that was just a probe. And you can see the price still holding to the downside. So unfortunately for us, this pair did fall off our watch list. And you can see a similar situation. Here we have the British pound against the Canadian dollar. Similar correlation for us where we're looking for the buying opportunities. The buys did work, but this was mainly because of the Canadian dollar. But it's a similar correlation where you can see the British pound pair started coming down throughout the London session. At 3 o'clock, we were within a buyer's area. You can see right here, most people would recognize that as a pin bar. And you can see the price at 3 o'clock managed to actually go all the way to the upside. But remember, we always mention, let's wait to see if the price can actually breach and hold. But you can see the price has managed to go to the upside, and when it came back down, it came and confirmed that it was holding below. So at that point in time, this level was confirmed, at least at that point in time, it was not breached. And you can see the sellers have managed to continue coming down lower. So unfortunately for us, this is a pair that we're not going to be looking at today. Now, moving on to the next pair for review. As you can see, we have quite a few. So the next pair we did have was the euro against the Japanese yen. Yesterday, our bias was to look for buying opportunities, and you can see the buys did work out quite well. You can see there are some 3 areas. So I think the last area is all the way down there at the bottom. But you can see during the London market open, we were within this particular area. Wanted to see whether or not the price is able to breach and hold above. But you can see it was quite choppy throughout the London session. But during the US market open, so at 3, we got the price coming up quite strongly, showing us confirmation that the price is holding above. And at 4:30, that's when the price did start to go to the upside. But unfortunately for us today, you can see the way the prices are coming down. There was some yen strength coming in, and that's why this is a pair that's not going to be on our watch list for today. Now, moving on to the next currency pair we did have here the Australian dollar against the US dollar. And yesterday, our bias was to look for selling opportunities. You can see early in the morning, the price did manage to come down quite aggressive. Wanted to see the pullback coming in and whether or not it was going to hold below within this area. You can see the price came straight to the upside. So at that point in time, no selling opportunity within this area. Wanted to see what kind of reaction we ended up getting within this location. You can see the price did manage to actually give us some sort of probe where it attempted to show the price was going to break this area to the upside, came back, and once the price was holding below, could have actually been able to look for selling opportunities there. You can see the price has managed to come down. Unfortunately, could not get all the way to this particular problem area that we did have. But John did point out there was some sort of support and resistance area here that could end up giving us issues, and that clearly did end up doing that. But unfortunately for us today, this pair could end up giving us some issues. The fundamentals are not really lining up properly for both of them. And that's the reason why it is off our watch list for today. So moving on to the next currency pair, we did have the New Zealand dollar against the US dollar. Similar correlation with the Australian dollar against the US dollar. The US dollar pairs got a lot of weakness earlier in the morning. You can see the price managed to go to the upside, but we did manage to get the price coming back, giving us some sort of probe and price action signal within this particular area. And you can see this is around 11 o'clock during the London market open. Remember, the London market times have changed. So we can see the price managed to actually come down. But remember, we want to always see the price actually breaking and holding below a certain area. Once you can see the price came down and came straight back up, that was just a probe, so it was never really broken. You can see the price kept on holding above. It was only during the Asian session where the price managed to break this area to the downside and hold above. But unfortunately for us today, this is a pair that could potentially end up giving us issues, and that's why it is off our watch list. Now, last but not least, for the review pairs, we did have the US dollar against Canadian dollar. In this currency pair, our bias here was to look for buying opportunities. You can see these 3 areas that we mentioned, looking for those buys. Buys did work out quite nicely during the London market open. You can see the price managed to come down lower. The buyer managed to react within this particular area, but a similar situation. Remember, we always mention a level is only broken once it goes to the upside and holds above. You can see this is just another probe, and it confirmed when the price came back in and held below. And this was during the US market open. You can see the price managed to come down lower. So today, during the Asian session, it has attempted to come back to that same area and is attempting to go to the upside, potentially in some sort of range. But for now, we're not say looking for a buying opportunity or a sell. Most likely, remember, we keep on pointing out the pairs that are on the same side are most likely to actually just start ranging. So it would be no surprise if you find the market just bouncing between these two levels. And that's the reason why this is a pair that we're not going to be looking at today. So that's it for all the pairs for review. There are quite a few. So we'll end up having a look at a few screenshots, which we also did get quite a number before we do end up jumping and focusing on today's pairs. So first off, we'll start off here with Andre. Andre, you did manage to grab a nice buying opportunity or multiple buys on the British pound against the US dollar. Buys right there. It seems you managed to take your profit right there, the exit, or at least right before the market turned. You can see that was a very good exit on this trade. So very good trade right here, Andre. Keep up the good work that you're doing, as well as you managed to grab a nice buying opportunity on the Dow Jones as well. Nice buys right there. You can see you're managing within these next problem areas, and you did end up closing the maximum for your trade at the top. So very, very good job on these trades, Andre. So shout out to you, and shout out to Bravin as well. Did manage to grab a nice buying opportunity. It's no surprise that you are going to be trading silver. We do know that you love trading this pair. So did manage to grab a very extreme buy right there at the bottom. Very gutsy buying with in the face of all these sellers, but we do know you know what you're doing. Grabbed a very nice buy already. Trade was managed within there. Stop loss already below, above your entry point. So very, very good job on this trade, Bravin. So next we did get Caroline Cassini. Did manage to grab a nice selling opportunity on the US dollar against the Japanese yen. Very nice sell right there at the top. Can see already the trade has been managed. Stop loss already below your entry. So very good job on that trade. We also did grab the British pound against the US dollar. Very nice sell right there at the top. You can see the price coming down lower, almost hitting your take profit. So very, very good job on this trade. And you also did grab the buying opportunity as well. So you really did milk the most out of the British pound against the US dollar. You got the buy and the sell, and both of them working out very, very well. So very good job on these trades, Caroline Cassini. So also next, we did get another Caroline here. You did manage to grab a very nice buying opportunity on the euro against the New Zealand dollar. Very nice buy right there. Stop loss already managed to at least above your entry. And you can see the price going up in your favor. So very, very good job on this trade, Caroline. So well done on that. So also next, we did get Christine. Christine, you managed to grab a very nice buying opportunity on gold. Very nice buy right there at the extreme. Price going up in your favor. And you did mention that your take profit was also hit. So very, very good job on this trade. This is a very well done on this trade. I'm very jealous about that one. So very good job. So also next we get Dan Pickett. Have to see your screenshots here as well. We did manage to grab a nice selling opportunity on gold. So it seems that you grabbed the sell right there at the top. Price coming down in your favor. Stop loss just within your entry point, but still, you know, you will manage your trade well. So very, very good job on this trade, Dan Pickett. We also did grab multiple sells on the NASDAQ right there. The top, you can see right, trade has already been managed where your stop losses are already way below your entry. And you can see your take profits all the way down there. I do end up hoping you get the prices actually are able to get there. I hope you did end up watching out for these problem areas on the way, but very, very well done for that trade, Dan Pickett. So next we did get John. You do know John, I mean, he's been the one presenting for us here for the past few days. So he did end up managing to grab a very nice buying opportunity on the US dollar against the Japanese yen. Very nice buy right there at the bottom. Trade hasn't been fully managed yet, but I guess this was just when it was taken and it is starting to take off. So very, very well done on that trade, John. So as I mentioned, we did get May's screenshot. So we also did get Mark Murray. Did manage to grab a very nice buying opportunity. Similar situation, I guess, with Bravin on silver. Very nice buy right there at the bottom. Can see your trade working out in your favor. Do end up hoping you manage your trade as well, but very, very good job on that trade, Mark. And last but not least, we did get Peter. Peter, you did manage to grab a selling opportunity on the British pound against the Japanese yen. Can see the sell right there. It did seem that you took advantage of that weakness that was coming in. But the good thing is you already managed your trade with your stop loss below your entry, because we do know this pair did manage to go back up before it actually came down. So at least the fact that your stop loss is below your entry, we know that at least you guaranteed that much profit. So very, very good job on this trade, Peter. Keep sending in your screenshots and keep up the great work that you're doing. So shout out to all the guys who managed to send in your screenshots. Really do appreciate it. Remember, if you do manage to take any setups based on things that we do share, feel free to send them in to us. Our contact details are there in the chat box. So let's jump into today's pairs. So we'll start off with the euro pairs, mix and match them with the pairs on the sell side. Then we'll do the same thing with the Japanese yen before we do have a look at the indices as well as gold and silver. So starting off with the euro pairs, we'll start off with the euro against the Australian dollar. Now, on this currency pair, our bias here is to look for buying opportunities. It was a similar situation to yesterday because we did not have this currency pair. You can see the 3 areas that John had pointed out, but today I've just adjusted the level slightly. But you can see during the London market open, the price managed to come down lower quite aggressively. But it was once the market did end up opening, the US market opened at 3, that's when the price did end up starting to turn around. Might have been a bit difficult because the price was below the support resistance area. But you can see the market didn't manage to actually continue going up all the way to the top. But the fact that we did not pull back towards this area, we will be focusing still on these buying opportunities on the euro against the Australian dollar, but we will be focusing on these 3 areas. So right now, the fact that the price has looked as if it's gone all the way to the main sellers right there at the top, what I would be expecting is the price to potentially give us some sort of pullback within this particular support and resistance area before we're able to look for those buying opportunities. But remember, alternatively, the price is able to actually continue going to the upside. Remember, we want to see the price actually holding above. That's when it's confirmed that that level has been broken. Then you should be able to look for buying opportunities as well on the euro against the Australian dollar. So that's the game plan of what we're looking to do. Let's wait to see how this pullback would come in. We'll see what kind of reaction we get within this first support and resistance area. Remember, if nothing happens here, we'll be looking to see whether or not we can grab our buying opportunities all the way back towards the red support and resistance area. But overall, definitely still looking for those buying opportunities. So moving on to the next euro pair, we do have the euro against the New Zealand dollar. You can see yesterday, our bias here was to look for buying opportunities, and the bias did work out quite well. You can see during the London market open, the price was within this particular seller's area. Remember, do not buy within an area where the sellers, and the sellers did manage to bring the price down quite aggressively, all the way back down towards the main buyer's area. So it seems that it was just 1 hour. So sorry, apologies. This seemed to have been just before the London market opened. So when the London market did end up opening, the price was already back within this buyer's area. However, those London big boys were not able to take the price up higher because you can see as the price is just holding, struggling within here. It only started taking off from 3 o'clock once the US big boys did manage to come in and manage to push the price up all the way to the top. But today, the bias here is still going to be looking for buying opportunities. Adjust the top level slightly. It seems that we do end up having a major support and resistance area right there. So we definitely need to watch out for this particular location. Since we do want to look for buying opportunities, this is not a good place to look for our buys. Rather, would wait to see if we can end up getting this price coming back in, potentially within this one of these support and resistance areas. So we do have this level right here. Similar correlation with the euro against Australian dollar. After the price went to the upside, you can see we have not managed to actually pull back to this area before we actually end up getting the price to the upside. So we'll be pretty much watching for these same areas. Remember, due to the fact that the euro and the Australian dollar and the euro against the New Zealand dollar look correlated, you can be able to have a look at one, see what is going to happen. If you see the pullback coming in on one, chances are the pullbacks are going to come in on the other. If you find the prices are within these areas of interest, have a look at both of them. You might be able to see something that could end up indicating that the buy should be on. But overall, this will be our game plan for today on the euro against the New Zealand dollar. Now, moving on to the next euro pair, it seems that the Canadian dollar pairs were quite weak because they really did end up taking off. As you can see yesterday, our bias here on the euro against the Canadian dollar was to look for buying opportunities. You can see the 3 areas that John had pointed out, but it seems the price managed to end up getting a lot of strength during the London market open. You can see that from 11 o'clock, price got strength to the upside. We did end up getting the pullback coming in, so it confirmed that that level has been broken. Similar correlation, or at least illustration to what John had pointed out. A move to the upside, we want to get a pullback, and it lines up within one of the market opening times. So remember, it's 11, 3, and 4:30. You can see right here, around 3 and 3:30, once the news events came out, you can see that's when the price really did take off to the upside. So today, the bias here is still going to be looking for buying opportunities. So we'll pretty much be focusing on these 3 areas to look for the buys. So aggressive buyers all the way down here. You can see we did end up breaking this area to the upside. We are pulling back, coming towards the support and resistance area. So wait to see what ends up happening. Hopefully we can end up getting this price coming back in within this particular area, inciting a few more people to look for sells before we're able to jump in on the buys. But remember, if the price is able to break this area to the upside, You do not need to necessarily be afraid. Wait for the price to actually hold to the upside. If you do end up seeing that, then you should be able to look for buying opportunities right there as well. So let's watch out for that. Let's wait to see what ends up happening on the euro against the Canadian dollar. Now, moving on to the next euro pair, we do have the euro against Swiss franc, brand new entry on our watch list. We can see both the euro and the Swiss franc were both on the same side yesterday, but today we'll be looking for buying opportunities. You can see the price did manage to go up quite aggressively yesterday, and we are getting a pullback, coming back towards the support and resistance area. And you can see even right now, the price does look as if it has given us some sort of small probe. But remember, wait to see signs of the big boy buyers coming in. You can see right here, wanted to see whether or not the price is going to actually hold above. You can see the price attempted to break this area to the downside and does seem to be holding to the upside. We'll wait to see what ends up happening here. But even if you do end up managing to grab a buying opportunity within this particular area, do watch out. You can see there's some sellers who did end up pushing the market down. You might end up grabbing a buy. These sellers could definitely end up giving you issues. So just watch out for that. But overall, this one seems pretty clear-cut in terms of the buy. It does seem to be trending quite nicely. And we think most people know the way the market trends to the upside, higher highs and higher lows. Right now, we're pulled back the support and resistance area. But let's see signs that big boy buyers are actually interested. And remember, the market opening times. The market just doesn't move at any particular time. So it's not a thing that you can necessarily trade anytime. There are certain times that are good to trade and certain times that are not necessarily the best. Just because the market is open 24 hours a day doesn't mean that you have to be trading anytime. So there are specific times that are much better. So that's the reason why we keep on sounding like a broken record, pointing out the market opening time, because that's when you will end up getting the markets potentially taking off. So do watch out for that on the euro against the Swiss franc. So moving on, the next currency pair, we have the euro against the US dollar. Similar correlation, you can see the euro pairs really did bring some strength to the upside yesterday. We did end up approaching an area where the sellers, and potentially we could end up getting this pullback coming in within the support and resistance area. So overall, we'll be focusing on these three locations, aggressive buyers all the way down here. Right now, we're so close within the sellers area. Let's hopefully we end up getting this pullback coming in. Could end up pulling back within the support and resistance area before we're able to see those buying opportunities coming in. But be aware, because you can see even right here, we have a small support and resistance area right there. There's potential that it could end up reacting, but it's not necessarily as low. So obviously for us, withdrawal is trying to get the price down lower. I mean, buy low and sell high. But in this situation, if we do end up getting the price is able to actually take off to the upside, we're able to get this price breaching and holding above, then we should be able to look for buying opportunities on the euro against the US dollar. So hope that's clear. As we move on to the last euro pair that we do have, here we have the euro against the British pound. The euro pairs really did look as if they gained a lot of strength yesterday, which is good. We still want to jump in on those buying opportunities. But remember, we don't want to buy at such a high price. You can see the price has really gone to the upside. And you can also be able to tell there's certain signs that you can be able to see that the buyers are actually losing strength. So you can see the way the buyer came up here and compare how the seller pushed to the downside. Look at the way the buyer is pushing up quite strong. Look at the next push up. If you compare how it did the first time, it only took like around 2 candles. Here you can see there are quite a few more within this move to the upside. And now you can see the way the buyer is pushing up, really struggling. And right now it seems that the market, or at least the sellers, could potentially actually come in. So that's the reason why for us, we want to still buy, not necessarily going to jump in on selling opportunities. Can very much easily be hijacked with thinking that looking for your sell and then you forget the buy. That has happened to us many times. So for us, what we'll be waiting for is a pullback within this particular support and resistance area to potentially end up looking for a buying opportunity here. So right now, the pullback is what we'll be waiting for to at least come back within a nice particular area for us to potentially look for those buying opportunities. So hope that's clear on the euro against the British pound. As you can see, we've mixed and matched the euro pairs with all the pairs on the sell side. So right now we're going to move on to the Japanese yen and do the same thing. So we'll start off with the Australian dollar against the Japanese yen. Brand new entry on our watch list. And this pair, our bias here is to look for selling opportunities. But if you realize the market structure, well, market structure is very important. It does seem to be, we are in a range, so bouncing between these two levels. So as usual, if you want to end up trading a range, the best place to look for yourself, especially due to the fact that we're looking for selling opportunities here, would be at the top of the range. Wouldn't necessarily advise jumping in on the buy at the bottom. Well, wait to see what ends up happening. Ideally, what would be hoping to come into would be the price actually maybe pulling back within the support and resistance area. Definitely watching out for this area the first time. If the price is able to break this area to the upside and holds above, then we'll be looking for those selling opportunities much higher up. But remember, with ranges are quite good, especially if we do end up getting an area being broken. So if we do get the price breaking this area to the downside, and remember, in order to confirm that level has been broken, wait till the price actually holds below. Ranges have a tendency of probing quite a bit, going to extreme areas, looking as if you've breached certain levels, but it just ends up coming back. So we'll wait to see what ends up happening, either a breach to the downside. We'll watch to see what ends up happening here, especially the way this is a major support and resistance area. You can see as the price has pulled to the downside, the areas where the price has actually been able to hold and go to the downside. But it's a similar situation with breaches to the upside, you can see it's able to push up high. So these are very important levels. Right now, the way the sellers have come down quite aggressive. Let's see if we can end up getting this pullback first within this area to potentially end up looking for those selling opportunities on the Australian dollar against the Japanese yen. So moving on to the next yen pair, you can see similar correlation here. We have the New Zealand dollar against the Japanese yen. So here our bias is going to be looking for selling opportunities. Similar correlation. So let me just try to zoom in. Similar correlation with the Australian dollar against the Japanese yen. We do seem to be within a range. So as usual, best place to look for yourselves would be at the top of the range. But you can see we have this middle level right here, but the price could end up giving us issues. But so we'll be watching out for these three locations. So right now, where the price is at, you can see how many times the price has actually been able to come down, I think even towards this particular area. I've pointed out this particular area all the way down at the bottom, but there does seem to be an area that's giving us issues here. Look at how many times the price has bounced off this particular location. But at the same time, this middle support and resistance area does seem to be the true support and resistance area, because as the price has probed this area multiple times, all these moves to the downside seem to be probes. Not once has the price been able to breach the downside and actually hold below. But right now, you can see that's potentially what might happen, but let's wait to see. But as usual, for us to look for ourselves, the best place to look for the sell would be at the top of the range. So if we do get the price coming back in within there, we should be able to look for selling opportunities. However, we're very interested to see what ends up happening within this location. If we are able to get the price holding below, then we should be able to continue looking for selling opportunities, ideally until the problem area right here at the bottom, around 91.102, so around that area. So hope that is clear on the New Zealand dollar against the yen. Right now, nothing much for us to do. Let's wait to see what kind of pullback comes in. We'll move on to the next yen pair, which is the Canadian dollar against the Japanese yen. You can see that same correlation seem to be in some sort of range. The top of the range right here. We also have the bottom of the range, which seems in this situation, the price has actually been able to approach. So for us, right now, we'll be waiting to see what kind of reaction we end up getting within this bars area. Because one of two options could end up happening. Either we get this price breaking this area to the downside, and if we do get the price holding below, then this would give us a very nice selling opportunity. But since we are ranging, we'll wait to see what ends up happening. As the price approaches this first support and resistance area, we'll wait to see what kind of reaction. We can see how many times the price has attempted to break this area to the downside, but this seller's area has still held. So this is the first problem area. But if we see the price breaking this area to the upside and holding above, then we'll be looking for our selling opportunities all the way at the top of the range to try and get the price to actually come down low. So we'll wait to see what ends up happening on the Canadian dollar against the yen, but you can see the yen pairs are very much correlated. They pretty much look alike. So you can be able to look at one to help you determine what's going to be happening on the other pair. So moving on here, we have the Swiss franc against the Japanese yen. Now, yesterday we did have this currency pair and we were looking for buying opportunities. So you can see the three areas that John had pointed out, and you can see the illustration that did end up pointing out here as well. We needed either a breach and a hold to the upside. We could have actually been able to continue looking for buys, or for us to actually get a pullback. Because remember, price was within a seller's area during a market open. You can see what kind of reaction we did get. The price managed to come all the way down lower. The similar situation at around 3 o'clock, price was back within this buyer's area. It give us a nice potential buying opportunity, making sure to manage your trade right here at the top. So today, You can see the price attempted to go up higher, but the sellers have really come down. Remember, I did point out the yen did end up showing a lot of strength during the Asian session, and that's what we're seeing right here. So overall, today, buyers is going to be looking for selling opportunities, no longer buyers. So we'll be focusing on these three areas. Right now, we can see where price is at, but within our area where there are buyers. And you could also possibly consider that this market could have been in some sort of range. And you could also end up considering that this was just a huge probe as well. So these areas do end up making a lot of sense in terms of, they do seem to be quite strong areas. So overall, we'll definitely still be looking for those selling opportunities, but remember, watch out for looking for sells within areas where there are buyers. So hopefully we can end up getting this price pulling back within the support and resistance area before we're able to look for selling opportunities, or alternative, if we do get the price is able to break this area to the downside and hold below, we should be able to look for selling opportunities. Yes, you can be able to target all the way here, but do also end up watching out. I know this is the area that we did have yesterday, but there's potential for the price to actually continue coming down lower today. So do watch out for that on the Swiss franc against the Japanese yen. So moving on to the next yen pair, we do have the US dollar against the Japanese yen. Similar situation yesterday, our bias here was to look for buying opportunities. We can see the three areas that John had pointed out, but at least the last area is hidden slightly all the way down there at the bottom. But at least our focus yesterday being between these two levels, you can see the price during the London market open was so close to the seller's area, so no buying opportunity then. You can see the price managed to actually give us a pullback during the London session. The price was holding within this area. We get signs that the big boy buyers were coming in. And we did end up looking for a pullback. Seems it's the trade that John did manage to end up grabbing. So very nice buying opportunity there. And you can see the price was able to get all the way till the take profit, although it must have taken it worked out during the Asian session. But you can see they managed to get towards that area before the sellers really did end up starting to come down. So today, the bias has switched and we will be looking for selling opportunities. So I've adjusted the level slightly. So we'll be focusing on these three areas today. So right now, you can clearly see where we're at. We're within an area, or at least it looks like this if we've broken this area to the downside, but just watch out for this particular support and resistance area. You can see there's also some sort of bias area within here, but this is also an important level where the price seems to have been holding above. So right now, since we are looking for selling opportunities, we're within this small bias area. And you can see every time the price is approached here, look at the kind of reaction that we've gotten. So especially if we're able to get this price breaking this area to the downside and holding below, we definitely should be able to continue going down lower. But as usual, since we always want to try and see if we can grab some selling opportunities higher up, let's wait to see if we can end up getting the price, giving us some sort of probe or price action signal for us to look for our selling opportunities there. Make sure you manage your trade within this first problem area. But if we get the price breaching and holding below, we should be able to come and target all the way down to this bottom area right there. So I hope that's clear on the US dollar against the Japanese yen as we move on to the next and last yen pair we do have, which is the British pound against the Japanese yen. Now, yesterday, we did have this kind of pair. Bias was to look for buying opportunities. You can see a similar situation that happened with all the other British pound pairs where they did show weakness initially early in the morning. We did get some strength during the US market open. So in this situation, it managed to come close towards the main buyer's area, just missed it slightly before the price managed to go all the way up. But you can see price ended up reacting and holding within this area where the sellers before the weakness continued to come in. Then similar situation during the Asian session, the yen did end up getting more weakness, and you can see the price has managed to continue coming down lower. So today, the bias here is going to be looking for selling opportunities and not buying opportunities. So we'll be focusing on these three areas. And right now, the price is within an area where they're buyers. So we definitely do not want to jump in on selling opportunities just yet. We need one of two things to happen, either a breach to the downside and a pullback where the price actually holds below that, we can be able to look for selling opportunities there, or we wait to see if we can end up getting this pullback coming in within the support and resistance area. Hopefully we end up getting some sort of probe or price action signal within this particular area or whatever entry criteria you end up using. Just make sure that at least it's within a good support and resistance area as well. It's lining up with the market opening times, but that will, remember, increase your probability of your trade working out. So that's the game plan of what we're going to be looking at on the British pound against the Japanese yen. So hope that's clear on all the currency pairs. As you can see, we've mixed and matched all the pairs on the buy side with the pairs on the sell side. So right now, we're going to have a look at the indices before we do end up looking at gold and silver. So we'll start off with the NAS 100. So yesterday, our bias was to look for buying opportunities. Remember, we did point out these three particular areas, but also keep on mentioning that this red support and resistance area was actually within this particular area right here. And we did say once we get the price breaking and holding below, we can be able to switch sides. And it seems that's exactly what happened. We're waiting to see buyers to come in. Price didn't really end up, or at least buyers, they never really showed up before the price was able to go to the downside. So today, our bias here is going to be looking for sales. We're no longer going to be looking for buying opportunities. We're going to be focusing on these three areas of interest. So we have the aggressive sellers all the way at the top there. You can see right now, we do seem to be attempting to break this area to the downside. Let's wait to see what ends up happening. Remember, a level is not broken unless we get the price actually holding below. So right now, as the price is coming down low, let's see if we can end up getting this price giving us some sort of pullback. You see the price holding below, we should be able to continue looking for selling opportunities. But if the price just comes back in and holds above, then chances are we could be coming back all the way to this particular support and resistance area before we're able to look for those selling opportunities. So we'll wait to see what ends up happening here. But definitely we can see that weakness really coming in on the NASDAQ. So moving on, I hope that's clear for all of you. Moving on to the next pair we do have, which is the US 30. So the Dow Jones, yesterday our bias, just move that. Yesterday our bias here was to look for selling opportunities. You can see the three areas that John had pointed out, and the sales seem to have worked quite well. You can see initially they seem to have attempted to incite a number of people to start looking for sales. All those late sellers jumping in on the sales right here with their stop losses here definitely ended up getting stopped out because it seems the US big boys did end up bringing in a bit of strength. Managed to get all the way till the main sellers area, but this was a bit later. But also you can take note a number of times, a number of these indices end up moving quite late at night as well, sometimes around 6 or 7 or so. So you can see the price did manage to end up spiking all the way till our main problem area, so around 7 p.m. before the price managed to actually continue going down lower. You can see today, bias is still the same. So potentially breaking this particular support and resistance area to the downside. We'll wait to see what ends up happening. But overall, we will still be looking for sales. The reason why we've not adjusted these levels yet, remember, price has, or at least we're within a very strong buyer's area. So in order for a level, as we keep on pointing out, for it to be breached, we need the price to actually pull back and hold below. So right now, this is a good sign. At least let's see the big boy sellers come in. If we are able to get this price pulling back, giving us a hold to the downside, then we should be able to continue looking for very nice selling opportunities on the Dow Jones. So let's wait to see what ends up happening on this one, but it seems the market are starting to move. So we'll move on to the next currency pair, which is silver. Now, silver yesterday, our bias here was to look for selling opportunities. You can see the areas that John had pointed out. I know earlier in the morning, it did seem a bit confusing based on the fact that we were within this particular small buyer's area, or at least we're within an area where if the price breached and held above, we would be looking for buys. If it breached and held below, we would be looking for sales. And it seems that the price managed to come to the downside. And on the pullback, you can see it showed us confirmation that the price is actually holding below. And you can see this was during the Frankfurt market open at 10 o'clock. The price came down quite aggressive. We got a pullback. This confirmed that the price was actually holding below, and there was a very nice selling opportunity. Although this was around 1 o'clock, but if you realize, the market ended up really taking off from the US session, which was at 3 and 4:30. So you can see the price managed to actually continue coming down lower, still coming down today. You can see it managed to get all the way to this main problem area. I think this is the area where Bravin and Mark, you did manage to end up grabbing some very nice buying opportunities there. But today, bias here is still going to be looking for selling opportunities. So we'll be focusing on these three areas. Aggressive sellers all the way right here at the top. So as long as we're holding below this red support and resistance area, our bias is going to be looking for selling opportunities. We do have a middle support and resistance area right here. We have the main bias all the way down here. So as usual, since we've actually been able to come down lower, let's wait to see. We can end up getting this price giving us some sort of pullback, price holding below for us to look for those selling opportunities. Do make sure you manage your trade within this problem areas. You can see if you did not do that yesterday, you would have easily lost a lot of money, especially if you had entered a very nice sell right there at the top. So watch out for these three areas. Overall, bias is still looking for sells. But if you remember, if we get the price breaching and holding above the red SNR, we will be looking for buying opportunities at that point in time. So last but not least, we do have gold. And gold, yesterday, Our bias here was to look for buying opportunities, and you can see the buys did end up working out quite nicely. So you can see the illustration that John had pointed out early in the morning. The price looked as if it had broken this area to the downside, sorry, to the upside. Wanted to see a pullback, and you can see John's illustration right here. Did something similar to what he illustrated. As you can see, the price came down quite choppily. At 3 o'clock, the US market opened. We did get the price attempting to go to the upside. The sellers pushed back down. So at that point in time, nothing yet. But it seems that the price managed to actually continue going up around 4:30 or at least later on during the day. But it seems today, buyers here is still going to be looking for buying opportunities. We have adjusted the level slightly. So overall, we can see we have some main buyers right here at the bottom. So as long as we're holding above this red support and resistance area, our bias here is going to be looking for buying opportunities. Right now, we're so close towards this seller's area. It's not a good place to look for your buying opportunities just yet. We do have a support and resistance area here. Chances are we could even potentially be in some sort of range. As you can see, we're bouncing off these two levels. So if we are looking for a trade or at least a buy and we're within a range, let's wait to see if we can end up getting this price giving us some sort of pullback within this support and resistance area for us to look for those buying opportunities on gold. But remember, the price is able to actually continue going up higher. Gold has been making new highs every day, making breaking records, as you can see. So if we do get the price breaching and holding above, then we should be able to continue looking for buying opportunities on gold. So hope that is clear for all the kinds of pairs. As you can see, we've mixed and matched all the pairs on the buy side with the pairs on the sell side, including the indices. So I can be able to address any questions if there are any, but I'm not seeing any questions, which is okay. At least the good thing about now, we do end up having a bit of time. We have 15 minutes until the Frankfurt market open. Remember, the market open times have changed. So Frankfurt market open is no longer at 9, it's at 10 in the morning. And the London market open is at 11 a.m., not at 10 a.m. So do watch out for that. And remember, next week is the, or at least let me say this week. So today and tomorrow will be the last 2 days that the US session will be opening at 3 and at 4:30. Remember, daylight savings is now going to apply to the US next week. So that's going to make it 4 and 5:30. So times will move up by 1 hour. So the US market is going to open at 4, and the New York Stock Exchange is going to open at 5:30. So do take note of that. But at least we'll be here to make sure that you are well informed. So I'm seeing SW, you're asking me to display gold. So here we are looking for buying opportunities. Let's wait to see a pullback coming in potentially, or if we get the price breaching to the upside. But I'll be looking for a pullback to come in first. I think that would be much better for the buying opportunity here. So I hope that's clear for you, Esther, and glad to see you here as well. So I'm not seeing any more questions, which is okay. At least we do have a few more minutes, or at least some time to be able to analyze, go through the currency pairs, look to see which pair looks interesting that could end up giving some potential trading opportunities. So I guess that's it from me and from us. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. Really do appreciate it. Hope you guys have found value in these sessions. Remember, we are doing this so that we can try and help you guys as much as possible. You know how hard it is, especially at the beginning with trading. If you get the direction wrong, everything else is wrong. It doesn't matter how well you get your entry. So we end up trying to at least giving some guidance. This is something definitely we would have really enjoyed and benefited from if we did end up starting with this. So thank you guys so much for taking your time to join me today. Really do appreciate it. Hope you guys have an amazing day. God bless. Happy trading, traders, and bye for now. Cheers, guys.